I never thought I would see honesty come out of California, but their new high-speed rail chief admitted, at least tacitly, that high-speed rail might not happen. Hey, everybody, I'm Steve Green with Bill Whittle and Scott Ott. This is Right Angle, brought to you by the members of BillWhittle.com. And gentlemen, this is a quote from new high-speed rail CEO Ian Chowdhury, who said, "We started this one, and we are not succeeding." He said, "Let's go in, completely turn it around and put it back to where it should have been, fix all the issues, get the funding stabilized, and demonstrate to the rest of the world that when we decide that we want to do it, we actually will do it." And he's talking about getting high-speed rail built on a very ambitious schedule of a Palmdale to Gilroy run by the year 2045. 2045. Bill, I want you to explain to viewers who might not be familiar with California how Palmdale to Gilroy gets you from Los Angeles to San Francisco, which is the point of this whole train.
Well, first of all, I think we need to celebrate the fact that the highest point in the history of California governance in the last 30 years is the admission of defeat in the most expensive project that they've ever proposed. This is a new high point for California. It's not the completion of the project, it's the admission, the open admission that we have utterly failed and essentially have to start all over again.
You have reached peak governance.
It takes to go from let's say Beverly Hills to Palmdale at rush hour times is no less than a 2-hour drive, and I would say is probably closer to 3.
Wait, this is all about mass transit, so you're going to take the bus.
So anything that goes from, I know where Palmdale is. I lived in Palmdale for 1 year. With all due respect to Palmdalians, without question the worst place I've ever lived in my life. I don't know where Gilroy is.
Gilroy is it's on the peninsula, 70 miles south of San Francisco.
Great. So you've got a 3 or 4 hour drive to get to the southern terminus of this rapid rail system, at which point you'll get on a train which will do what? 150 miles an hour, 160 miles an hour, something
they're
like
aiming
that.
for 200, but
200, that's fine. 200 is a solid third of what a commercial jet will do. And then at the other end, you'll have another 2 or 3 hour commute to get to the place that people want to go. Now, if you were to turn this over to Elon Musk, for example, okay, let's just say, and you were to start boring an underground tunnel from a terminus point in LA, somewhere mid-Wilshire, something like that, with maybe one stop in the valley, and then just straight through till morning till you get to Fisherman's Wharf, right?
Oh yeah.
And if you did it underground, you could evacuate the air in front of the train, and you could get this thing up to 500-600 miles. You could technically go supersonic if you really wanted to. And you could do it where you could get up and walk around, have a little more room. I love trains. I love taking Amtrak. I love Amtrak. I love the fact you can get up, you can walk around, you don't have to worry about your bags. We rented a semi compartment. You go to the dining car, and I love them. But this boondoggle is insane. It's like putting Denver Airport in North Dakota.
Well, they practically did, if you've ever flown out of DIA.
But you get the idea, right? So that you could fly to New York, and the airport in New York is in Maryland. I don't know what to say about this, but I'll tell you what it sounds like to me. It sounds like to me that we have already grifted all of the money that was already spent. And now we need a whole new bunch of billions and billions of dollars to do it the right way, which we can then begin to feast upon. So that's what it sounds like to me. It sounds to me like
he's coming back to the assembly for more money.
Right. So all of the billions and billions and billions of dollars that have been wasted on this project to create absolute failure is the reason that we're coming back and asking for more billions and billions and billions of dollars so we can do it the right way this time and move people rapidly from Palmdale to Gilroy and back again. I just don't want to talk about it anymore.
Listen, on the backstage show, I got to talk about my beloved home state of Colorado and the new massive gun control regime they're putting in place. in August here, and it just makes me cry. So I'm not picking on California. I'm picking
for the
on
record,
California
Steve,
Democrats who have ruined both of our states.
For the record, Colorado was slammed on our backstage show. California is slammed on this show. But don't mess with Texas.
Don't mess with Texas.
There's nothing to mess with.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Guess where I'll be retiring with all my guns. I just got to get them out of the lake first. So, Scott, here's the history. Voters first approved $10 billion in bond money in 2008. So this is almost 20 years ago now.
Prop 1A.
Yes, to cover about a third of the estimated cost with a promise that the train would be up and running by the year 2020. Now, by my math, that's 5 years ago, and now they're looking at 2045. So 5 years past the deadline, no tracks have been laid, not one piece of track. California's construction has 119 miles of construction underway in the Central Valley. Only a 22-mile stretch is ready for the track laying phase, which won't even begin until 2026. California says they're going to need private investors. Private investors say they're going to need some kind of security. What kind of security would you require to give this project just a single dollar out of your wallet?
Well, 2008, Prop 1A passes. 2010, federal stimulus funds are allotted. 2013, construction contracts begin to be let. Groundbreaking happens in 2015. A decade ago, Stephen Green, you keep using this phrase high-speed rail. I do not think it means what you think it means. So, it's just one of those things where it's like, how long did it take them to like cross the continent with rails when they decided to do it?
I think it took about 6 years during the Civil War for the major part of it. We had some other stuff going on.
So it's just inconceivable, as one might say. But this is what you get when you turn over to politicians a project that really needs to be designed by business people, whether Elon Musk or somebody else. And honestly, a lot of business people would look at it and they would have reviewed the concept for 15 minutes and said, with the difficulty of getting the right-of-ways, with the commute time that it takes just to get to the rail station to get on the high-speed rail, it just doesn't make any sense. With the rates we'd have to charge for the train ride itself, without government subsidies, it's absolutely impossible. With government subsidies, it'll bankrupt the government more. And so, none of it makes sense to a normal person, but to a government person, they look at it and say, imagine your name on a bronze plaque in the high-speed rail station.
Yeah, and imagine $300,000 in my bank account on a yearly basis. And let me just add,
imagine my job that I work with as a consultant for that company that built the high-speed rail after I leave office.
Which I will bequeath my job to my grandchildren. By the way, it might be the most California thing ever that this proposal that got funded was to get you a third of the way to your destination. That to me is like, that's it. That's the California attitude. Hi, how are you? I'd like a ticket to Fort Lauderdale, please. Absolutely. Welcome aboard. And we'll be landing in Albuquerque in just a few minutes. Please be sure to secure additional transportation. And thank you for flying Air California.
I can hear the commercials now. Nobody gets you a third of the way to your destination faster.
Faster than California high-speed rail.
Oh, man. And the thing is, since this is all supposed to be public transportation, what they're trying to sell people on is, that you'll get on the bus in Los Angeles to Palmdale. And then when you get to Gilroy, which is the garlic capital of the world, by the way.
Good.
The garlic festival there is well, everybody should go once.
Stinks.
Yeah, I liked it. I went once. I'm glad I did. But then you're supposed to get on the Cal train to San Francisco, which is Cal train.
Oh,
California train. It's it's a commuter train. So it's all just a hot mess. I just want to finish with two more things. Since California passed this thing in 2008, this bond measure, China has laid 3,500 miles of high-speed rail nationwide. Wow. California, where they're big believers in this stuff, right? I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. It's their state. It's their money. Well, most of it is anyway.
Sort of.
If this is what they want, they should do it. but it's been 17 years and they haven't laid a single mile of track while China has done more than 3,000 miles. It's almost unimaginable, except that you don't have to imagine it. It's real. And the other thing, I wish I could take credit for this. I saw this on a comment on X, and I wish I could give them credit, but I lost their name. They said you can get from Los Angeles to San Francisco by car in 6 or 7 hours. You can get from Los Angeles to San Francisco by plane in about 90 minutes. You can get from Palmdale to Gilroy in 2045 if you're lucky. And that's your right angle on that. Brought to you by the members of BillWhittle.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.